Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind. The witch hunts continue, or probably better to say, the witch hunts continue to backfire, one after another. It's always the same story now, isn't it? Remember how the whole Russia collusion conspiracy went? All the initial architects of that scam, pretty much all of them except for Hillary Clinton, ended up fired and publicly humiliated. The whole narrative, built up preciously over 2 years, fell apart within a matter of months, and Donald Trump's approval ratings started to go to all-time highs. That was a pretty bad backfire, especially for Lisa Page and Peter Strzok. But this takes the cake. This is next level. Little Fani Willis. She thought she could play in the big leagues, but boy was she wrong. She was tasked to go after Donald Trump, to go and get him, Letitia James style. And now it seems like little Fani Willis's problems continue to stack, as if it wasn't already bad enough. Little Miss Fani has become the target of investigations here, no longer Donald Trump. Her problems are mounting. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so like I told you, more problems for little Fani. Let's take a look here at Fox News. They write, Georgia whistleblowers are lining up to testify against Fulton County DA Willis, state lawmaker says. Republican State Senator Bill Cowsert opened a meeting of the State Senate Special Committee on Investigations with a bombshell revelation that multiple whistleblowers from the Fulton County DA's office have come forward to testify against their boss. He said they allege Willis misused state and federal funds, allegations that come after the embattled DA admitted to having a relationship with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade that critics have called, quote, improper. This is not a political witch hunt, this is a quest for the truth, Cowsert said at Friday's meeting, according to Fox 5 Atlanta. And so according to a state senator, I guess that's a pretty credible source, more whistleblowers are planning to join in, essentially building on to the allegations that Fani Willis has a history of illegally and corruptly using taxpayer funds. Her argument is that her and Nathan Wade didn't come up with this plan to enrich themselves with taxpayer dollars. Well, when you have a history of corruption, when you have a history of doing exactly that, it kind of weakens your defense now, doesn't it? We're supposedly going to see a bunch of former Willis staffers, and so I guess we'll have to see what the whistleblowers are saying, but whether there's a new bombshell allegation or not, at the end of the day, from my view, this thing is over because Fani Willis has no credibility left anyways. The initial core lie at the heart of this whole scandal is enough for me, and I think should be enough for everyone.
Well, Anita, we're waiting to see what a Georgia judge will say about the case against former President Donald Trump. Yesterday, the Fulton County DA, Fani Willis, admitted she's been having a personal relationship with the prosecutor she hired. She says it doesn't affect the case, but the defense disagrees. Madison Scarpino is live in Atlanta. Madison, critics of Willis want her booted, the case dismissed, but what else can you tell us?
Yeah, Griff, the DA finally responding after weeks of affair allegations. And in a court filing, Willis admitted that she got involved with her special prosecutor, Nathan Wade. But she says that under state law, she can't be dismissed from the case because of this. But Griff, this is a big difference from the claim she made whenever she took office. Listen.
I certainly will not be choosing people to date that work under me. Let me just say that.
You know, in this particular case, I really don't feel like we need to go much further than that. I mean, for Pete's sakes, Democrats' own Democrat allies are calling for her to resign. We've covered that previously. Former prosecutors keep coming public, telling us just how much of a bad look it is for the currently embattled Fulton District Attorney. Ex-prosecutor warns DA Willis's decision to delay discussing the allegations is, quote, a bad look. Yeah, you think? It's been nothing but bad looks, and it will continue to be nothing but bad looks. Because the right look would have been immediately resigning. Not saying one thing, then doing another, then playing the race card, then coming up with more laughable defenses as you continue to push this thing on. Really unable to let go, because, well, let's just face it, your entire career depends on it. This was the career-making case for Fani Willis, newly elected back, I think, in 2018, if I'm not mistaken, or possibly 2020, coming out of absolutely nowhere. Well, that's not exactly fair. Coming right out of George Soros's left pocket, Fani Willis explodes on the scene, only to indict the former president of the United States immediately thereafter. I mean, talk about a career blow-up. She's clinging on desperately, refusing to let go here, and it's a horrible, horrible look. For me, I break it down really simple, you know, as we continue to cover this stuff, sure, it's getting worse, it's piling on, but the initial standard was met when Fani Willis decided to personally engage with Nathan Wade as she was funneling him taxpayer dollars. She broke ethical code, she's compromised the case, and it should pretty much end there. She lied, period. She said said one thing and then did another. And she did all of that during the most high-profile case with the most amount of money coming in, with the most reputation to gain. And so with her history of alleged corruption, mixed in with her history of dishonesty, it's pretty much a done deal. In my view, I mean, the verdict's already etched in stone. Fani's little case is done. And I mean, just logistically, I don't know how she's going to continue, considering the amount of problems that she's now dealing with. U.S. Marshals intervened to hand-deliver subpoena to Fani Willis after she refused to be served by the House Judiciary Committee. Fani Willis has been served. We're now learning of another issue, as over half of Fani Willis's campaign contributions are allegedly tied to illegal money laundering, new complaint claims. A bombshell investigation has uncovered jaw-dropping connections between Fani Willis and a sprawling web of election fraud and money laundering activities. The investigation, which spans across multiple states and multiple jurisdictions, has revealed a complex network of illicit operations aimed at undermining the very foundation of our constitutional republic and the rule of law. Sources close to the matter suggest that Willis was a massive beneficiary in the federal and Georgia RICO enterprises. It appears that she is currently playing a key role in orchestrating a systemic scheme to manipulate election outcomes, casting doubt on the integrity of the entire electoral process. Quote, after an extensive review of Willis's campaign donations, discrepancies were discovered that suggest the contributions may not be originating from the person they purport to represent. Firstly, 220 donations lack the required name and address information, constituting a clear violation of state law totaling approximately $23,000. Secondly, there were donations exceeding a $3,000 limit, amounting to another $27,000 in unlawful contributions. And the most significant allegation involves smurfing, a method of structured campaign money laundering, where large sums of money are divided into smaller amounts and donated to various campaigns, including Willis's, to evade detection. So of course, money laundering within the political campaign finance system isn't exactly anything new, but the idea here is that Fani Willis is being supported by big Democrat players and organizations, and she's then, well, I don't know, in the middle of an election year, indicting the former president of the United States, the DNC's #1 enemy. It seems as though that might present some sort of a conflict of interest, or at least the perception of one, which is pretty bad. And you know, let's just say the Democrats have a history of this stuff, getting money from very interesting sources. Who's to say that the BLM fundraising racket from 2020 isn't funding some of this nonsense? I mean, we saw hundreds of millions of dollars being fundraised back then by multiple organizations, a lot of them connected with ActBlue. That money certainly didn't go to racial equity, now did it? What about all that Sam Bankman-Fried FTX money? You know, embezzled client funds that went to politicians. I wonder where all that money went. It's all one big corrupt frickin' machine. And Fani Willis is the tip of the spear, or probably better, she's the frontline infantry. She's simply the expendable pawn used to achieve a political ends through corrupt means. But of course, as per usual, in I guess the age of Trump, it's all backfiring and backfiring hard, as Fani Willis F's around and is quickly finding out. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.